Assalamu alaikum, everybody out there, whoever's watching my video. I just want to talk about, well, it's Ramadan right now, and I've been doing a lot of reflection. And like the past few months, I've been kind of like really on the go and not having a lot of time, like downtime to reflect, to contemplate, because I just started my business, and it's just been mostly like any free time I got, I was just trying to plan like my next move, like how do I grow my business, what I should post, things like that. And now that it's Ramadan, like I feel really great that now we have the time to sit down and reflect. And I just feel like I need to focus more on purifying my heart and purification of the heart. A lot of the stuff that I do is about mental health and emotional health, and spiritual health is really connected to all of that as well. So the three really connect together, and like if you're weak in one area, it will affect the other areas as well. So mental health and emotional health really, like if you don't have your spiritual health intact, it will also be affected as well. And so in this month, I really want to focus on spiritual health and purification of the heart, specifically tazkiyah, which I first got introduced to when I was going through my own, I went through like a lot of depression and anxiety in my early 20s, and it went on for many years. But like when it first started, it started off as, like I had like this huge panic attack, and I thought I was dying at the time. And yeah, it was just a scary moment where I thought I was dying. I didn't know what a panic attack was. And I just felt like after that, like my life was never the same. I had like a light, my life like flashed before my eyes. I thought I was dying, and I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know how to explain to my parents. Um, I was going to school, but not really like focusing, and I had to drop out for a semester because eventually it got really bad where I was just like not able to focus in class. And I told my parents, but if the first thing was to do ruqya, and so that's what we did, but it didn't really help, and I just didn't know what to do, and my health just got worse. It just declined after that, and it just went like, it was like months where I was just getting really sick, going to the ER, because I was getting so many panic attacks. And every time I had them, it just felt like I was dying or like something was wrong physically. But every time I went there, they tell me, you're fine. Physically, like everything, blood work, whatever, everything looks normal. And so everything was just going back to stress, anxiety, and I just didn't know how to manage it. Like they didn't put me on medication or anything like that, and they didn't offer me counseling, and I didn't like know where to go for therapy. Like I didn't have any of that information. And so I was just like alone in the darkness for many, many years. And one day, I don't know how, but I just came across this book called Purification of the Heart by Hamza Yusuf. This is the book right here. And it just like, it changed my life. It didn't like cure me right away, but like it just opened up something within me. And it just, I don't know, I just discovered a new side of Islam, even though like I'm born Muslim, praying 5 times a day and all of that, but like something was missing from the teachings that I got from like the regular Islamic schools, where they just teach you like the outward knowledge, like pray 5 times a day, fasting, all the basic things that every child learns when they grow up. But like the spiritual side of it, like the inner part of Islam, that part, like I didn't get that. And through this book, I was introduced to that. So I learned about tazkiyah and purification of the heart. And I learned that the heart, the spiritual heart, is pure, and it's when it's clean and it's pure. Like when you're first born, then you're content, you have peace, you're happy. But if you have diseases of the hearts, you need to clean those diseases. You need to purify your heart to get rid of those diseases, and those diseases is what causes like emotional pain, mental pain, spiritual pain. So I studied that a lot, and it just after that my life really improved after that. And so I always go back to this book. I always read it like every, I don't know, just whenever I feel down or I just need some kind of clarification or anything. I always go back to this book and learn about the diseases and see like what disease do I have right now, what area of my life is being affected, and like what kind of emotional issues am I dealing with right now. So some of the diseases of the hearts is like jealousy or hatred or fear of death. So there's a list of them, and for each one you learn about it and the cause, and then you learn about the treatments and how to get rid of it. So it's an amazing book, and so that's what so it's really connected to mental health and emotional health, but this is like the spiritual side of it. So I highly recommend this book. You can find it on Amazon, but when I got it from a bookstore, from a masjid. They had like a bookstore there, and it was only like $6. But there's also an audio version online on YouTube that you could listen to. The first few chapters are clear, but at the end it gets really like you can't really hear clearly. So but it's a good place to start. And so I just want to focus on purifying my heart because I just feel like I've been neglecting that area because I was so focused on my business. And yeah, I just wanted to share that just purification of the heart is like it's like the main thing in life. This is when you pass away, the most important thing is the state of your heart. Doesn't matter how much money you had, doesn't matter like all the physical stuff, whatever you did in life. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is the state of your heart and your intentions. All actions come from your intentions. So even if you did like amazing work, you prayed, you did all that, but like if the intention behind it was not pure, it doesn't count. So purifying your heart is one of the most important things. And I just wanted to share that. Okay, I want to get that off of my chest. And what else did I want to say? I don't know. It's just been sometimes in life, you go through up and down. It goes like sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low. And thinking about that period where I went through my depression, it was like the darkest time of my life. You guys don't understand. It was like I've never openly talked about it before, but I feel like it's something that I need to speak about. And there's one night when I was driving my husband to work. It was like 4 a.m. It was dark, raining. I dropped him off, and I was just like my lowest low. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I just felt like my life was like done for. Like there's nothing to live for because I just couldn't get the whatever that feeling was. I don't know if anxiety or the depression, the darkness, like it just wouldn't go away. Like whatever I did, it wasn't working. And I just stopped once, like on the side of the road, and I just got out. It was pouring rain, dark. Imagine driving down the street and it's pouring rain and it's dark. The sun hasn't come out yet, and I just come out of the car. I just put like the emergency lights on or whatever. I get out and I go on the sidewalk, and I put my head on the ground, like making sujood. I'm just crying. I'm like, please, God, please help me. And I was crying. And yeah, I've never shared this story to anybody, but yeah, it was just some crazy times. And yeah, like it just brings tears to my eyes when I think about it. And I think about like how many other people are going through depression and anxiety and panic disorder. It's like it's so hard. It's not something like people that see me, they see me, my kids, and they feel like they think I'm a like my life is perfect. But they don't know what I what I went through because I don't have to share with anybody, and I didn't share with anybody at the time except for like my closest friends. But even them, like it's not like there was something that they would understand, and my parents certainly didn't understand what I was going through. And yeah, after that, after I got better, which was like years later, like it was only, honestly speaking, it was only like a couple years ago where I feel like my life was like kind of getting back to normal. So it was like more than 10 years that I went through this. And a few years ago, it was like the worst, I think the worst point where I was like, it was like my physical health really got got really bad. So this whole time, like, I was not on a medication, like I said, but a couple years, I think it was during COVID where it got really bad, and finally my doctor's like, you need to go on anxiety medication, depression pills, whatever. I don't remember what it was, and I really did not want to go on it because I was afraid that I might get addicted to it, and so I refused for a while. I'm like, no, I don't want it. I don't need it. And he's like, you have to, like, you're gonna get worse. And yeah, so I was on it for a while, and then I also started therapy. And yeah, it's just like from anyway, my point is, what I learned from all of this is that a lot of the things that kind of caused or triggered my anxiety, depression, I feel like it could have been prevented. And that's why I do the work that I do right now. So, and I've researched, and I know that kids now at a younger age are being diagnosed with like depression, anxiety, eating disorders, which is so serious, and it's so sad. And the work that I do right now is I'm trying to prevent all of this from happening. I do not want anybody else to go through what I went through, because it's like the saddest thing and the scariest thing that anybody can go through. It's not like physical, like a physical sickness where people can see what you're going through, and most people will understand, like, okay, this person has this disorder or they have this sickness. But when it's like a mental issue, you cannot see. It's very invisible until it gets, like, eventually your mental health will affect your physical. So sooner or later, like, it will affect you physically, and then it will be noticeable. But like in the beginning, it's not noticeable at all. And so for me, like, I lost a lot of weight because I was having trouble eating. So I guess that's the only way people were able to kind of notice that something was wrong, is when I lost a lot of weight. I was very, very skinny. And yeah, so I don't know. I just want to share that. And I think I'm going to do more talking videos. I can connect with other people in a more meaningful way. Like, I've been posting on my Instagram, but I usually write what I'm thinking. And yeah, I think I need to make more of these videos too. I want to leave a legacy, basically. Like, I watched the first episode of Omar Suleiman's Ramadan series, and he's talking about the afterlife. And it's like everybody has a gift that they need to share with the world to make some sort of difference in the world. And I feel like this is mine. I honestly feel like this is mine. Like, even before I even went through my whole mental issue thing, from as a kid, I remember I always wanted to work with young children, like abused kids. And I even studied psychology, and this is before I even went through my whole my issue. And my goal was always to be a psychologist, to get like a PhD in psychology, to do some kind of therapy or counseling with children. And so, like, even though I didn't do that because I had kids and I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. Um, Seems like my work is still in that area. Like, I'm now want to create books and resources for children and parents so they can have the right tools and resources to prevent these kind of things, and so parents can understand that these stuff are real, and they can have the tools to get to the issue and solve the problem earlier before it gets worse. Because, like, I didn't need to suffer that long, like for 10 plus years. I feel like if I had the knowledge that I had now, and I had the support system that I should have had, um, then I feel like I wouldn't have gone through it this long, and I would have got therapy or done some kind of lifestyle change or do something to prevent the issue from getting worse. So anyway, so that was my talk about purification of the heart. So make sure you guys do some kind of spiritual cleansing, purification of your heart, tazkiyah. Read upon it, maybe Google some videos about it, and focus on your heart. Purify your heart, get rid of all the negative and spiritual diseases that are in there, because everybody has them, and it's a lifelong process. And so it's not like something you do and you get rid of, oh, now I'm not jealous anymore, like I'm going to get rid of jealousy, I'm going to get rid of hatred, I'm going to do this, and like it's not like a linear process. You need to consistently be looking at yourself and honestly looking within, like looking within, really being honest with yourself and trying to figure out, like, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling these things? What are these feelings pointing to? And what kind of diseases are in my heart right now? And then you do your work, you do your part in getting rid of those diseases. And so even when you get rid of one, another one will be affecting you somehow. So you're always constantly purifying your heart all the time. This is connected to your mental and your emotional well-being. So it's all connected. Um, so yeah, purification of the heart. It's like I'm so happy that I found this book. I really am. I just I don't want to say like I saved my life, because I know God saved my life, but through God, I feel like I got this book, and it just really, really helped me. And if any of you is going through anything that I'm going through, please reach out to me. I just want you to know that you're not alone. And I pray for you, whoever's going through this. I pray that, like, I pray that that darkness leaves you and you find the light. Because honestly, like, I just felt like I was in darkness. The days were so hard. I was always like, as soon as I saw the sun setting, that was my favorite part of the day, because I knew I was going to go to bed, I was going to go to sleep. And during sleep, I'm not going to feel anything. And it was like, that was just the only time I could finally breathe and just like not think of anything. And then once I woke up, then the anxiety and all the darkness came back, and then the battle had to begin again. It was just like a battle. Every single day was a battle for me. Yeah, it was so hard. I don't think I've never done this before, like spoken about it publicly like this. So I know my family will see this. And I'm the oldest, so like my siblings were younger than me. It's not like I could go to them for support. So I did it totally alone. And I'm just thinking now, like, it was so hard. I would always, at first it was like fear. My panic attack started, my first panic attack. So that was like fear. And it just caught me off guard. I was just like, oh my God, what was that? Oh my God, I'm dying. Then after that, it just like the feeling wouldn't go away. So every day I was just trying to like shake it off. And then until it was just like wearing me down till the point where like I'm in class, I'm in university, the teacher's talking, and I just cannot hear what he's saying. I'm just sitting there, I'm zoned out, and I will like leave the class to go cry or something. Until finally I couldn't like fake it anymore. I was trying so hard to fake it, to just, just kind of like push out of my way, distract myself with something, and then I could just like pull through. But it was not going away. It was just getting worse and worse, until physically, yeah, my